Well, welcome back. One of the unique things about Sonos is it's not just the technology. They really look at how we live our lives and how music enhances our lives. I found that fascinating and it made a lot of sense. JT, can you share with us more about what we were talking about earlier, how Sonos really understands how people live their lives and you guys enhance how we live our lives with music.
Absolutely. Everything we do goes back to making sure that we do things correctly. So, when we set out on this journey to bring music into the home, we wanted to understand what music actually did for yourself inside the home. So, how you live your life. So, we set out on this journey to really understand that. So, in 2018, we did a study of almost 20,000 people called the Music Makes It Home study, and you can actually find it at musicmakesithome.com. And this study was really meant to understand how music played a part in your everyday life, how you interacted with people, how you cooked dinner, things like that. So what we were able to do is we were able to outfit all of these people with Sonos speakers, of course, and then also be able to monitor them through Apple Watches, iPhones, and also a camera to give them an ability to kind of talk about their experience. So for the first week, we told them, don't listen to any music. No music inside the home at all, which just goes completely against everything that we've ever done. The next week, listen to as much music as you can out loud. And then we kind of wrapped all of that up in a lot of these studies. Some of the things that we found is food tasted better when music was playing in the background. People are more likely to say I love you when music is playing out loud. Things like that, and how music plays just such an integral part of how we live our life. Music brings us back to a point in time. For me, I'll just give this analogy. I hear a song and I think about my friends, I think about my family, and it takes me back to a time hanging out with my friends when we heard the song for the first time, or just a good time that I had in my life because of the music and what was playing around me.
That's interesting. So what you're saying is music enhances your feelings. It
Mhm.
enhances, you're going to more likely say I love you if you're hearing some music. Food is going to delight you more if you're hearing the right music, and of course, it's going to be a trigger if you're hearing certain music that will make you
Absolutely.
sad or or make you feel like you're missing somebody or and yeah, I could see that for sure.
And
You
and
were
what
talking,
else is great?
go
Sorry to
on,
cut you
yeah,
off. One
that's
else
all
is
right.
great is when you think about it from a restaurant point of view. And I know everybody who's watching this misses going to restaurants, and soon we'll be able to do that. It's awesome. But when you think about the music that you're listening to inside of a restaurant, if the music is too loud, are you likely to recommend that place to someone? Maybe not. But if the music is just right and the ambience is right and the music matches the food, the chances of you recommending that place are much more likely, and the chances of you going back are even higher.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm in an ethnic restaurant, my ethnic background happens to be Greek. So
Hmm.
if I'm in a Greek restaurant and they're not playing the right kind of Greek music, I do get annoyed, which is
Yeah,
interesting. Never even
absolutely.
occurred to me. Absolutely true.
You don't want to go to a Spanish restaurant and hear country music. The two just
No.
don't go together, right? So music really plays a huge part into all of our feelings, all of that, but also a part of our senses as well.
Wow. Yeah, it never even occurred to me that food would taste better with music. So you were saying that we all consume music differently. What did you mean by that?
So there are so many ways to consume music nowadays. So we have our digital platform, of course, and that's your normal things like anything on your phone, Apple Music, Spotify, the list goes on and on and on. But there's still those physical media days, right? Your people who still have vinyl or CDs or even cassette tapes. And with Sonos, you're able to bring all of that into the Sonos ecosystem by utilizing a couple of different things. Now, with turntables and CD changers, you do need a little bit of extra equipment to make it work, but we can play those things inside the Sonos ecosystem and even group them to other rooms wirelessly. And the most common way people get their music today is obviously through their cell phone, because your cell phone is what's in your hands the most out of anything throughout the day. So being able to open an app, and click music. So not only can you play it directly through the Sonos app, but you can also utilize things like AirPlay, which is an iOS specific music transmitter that allows you to send whatever you're listening to from your iPhone to the Sonos speakers, or things like Direct Control. And this is a great partnership with a company like Spotify, for example. You have the ability to utilize the Spotify app, and as soon as you're connected to your Wi-Fi, open your phone. You're looking at the Spotify app. At the bottom, you're going to see more available devices. You click that button, and all of your Sonos rooms will open up. And I really love this feature for one reason and one reason only, is when I am in the car and I'm going somewhere, I'm going to the grocery store, I'm taking my son somewhere, if we're listening to music in the car, the last thing I want to do is get home, stop what we were doing or stop what we were listening to, open the Sonos app, find the room, find the song, and then hit play. I can literally just open the Sonos app and continue listening to music seamlessly by one tap of a button.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And you're right, because you're going to be consuming music while you're at home, while you're in the car, and you're coming back, and you have different sources that you're
Yeah,
sourcing that music from. So that's what you mean, is where you're sourcing it from. You have opened it up where people can source it from their turntable, from
absolutely.
online services, and it's all seamless. That makes a lot of sense. So is that what you meant by music services earlier?
Absolutely. We have a plethora of music services to choose from. The list is close to 100 today.
Wow.
I'm not sure of the exact number. And just to keep in mind, a little caveat, those music services are going to difference between countries. So the US is going to have some services that may not be available in Canada, and vice versa, as well as all over the globe. But the big ones, of course, the ones that everybody knows the most, the Spotify, the Apple Musics, Amazon's, Tidal's, Deezer's, and the list goes on. And there's really even some really obscure music services out there. There is one called oh my gosh. There is one called Rusk, which is like an old timey radio station. So like old AM radios from the 20s and the 30s, you can listen to those, or even one from a band called Fish, which most people have heard of them. They're a little jam band that everybody loves. Fish has their own music service where they have taken all of their shows that they have ever played live and put them in this music service. That's available on Sonos as well.
Oh, very cool. I would love all the older ones too, the ones from the 20s. That would be comical.
Yeah.
I like listening to the old commercials. They crack
Yes.
me up. Yeah, they
Mhm.
really crack me up. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything you'd like to wrap up with on bringing music to people the way they live their lives?
The one thing that I would say when you're talking to anybody about audio and talking to anybody about Sonos specifically, it's always leading with that first question. What do you like to listen to? That'll give you an idea of, for me, we mentioned it. I love home theater. That's where I'm going to start with anybody. But music still plays such a huge part in everything that I do that I'm able to just kind of pick and choose where I want to put speakers. And that's a huge part of, how we think about Sonos going forward is, what do you like to listen to and how do you like to listen to it?
And I think that's why we encourage people to speak to our team at Kawartha TV and Stereo, because you've done such a great job training them that that's how they lead. They start with how do you consume your music? What are you listening to? Where are you listening to it during your day? And then they're going to make sure that they have the right products to meet
That's
their
right.
listening needs. So thank you again so very much. Really appreciate your time. And maybe when later on this year, when there are new products that come out, we'll get to talk to you again.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
I
Thanks,
look
Sophie.
forward to it. Thank you very much. Take care.